tense only your pelvic floor, not your lower abdomen, when it gets to right here, and then I'm going to have you hold it till it gets to here. Tense. Keep tensing, keep tensing, keep tensing. Keep it tense. Keep it tense, let it relax. Okay. Beautiful. What you did was showed that you can tense your pelvic floor with very little tension in your abdomen. Next, we're going to have you tense your abdomen without tensing your pelvic floor at 2. 1, 2. Go ahead. Abdomen, not pelvic floor. Okay, you cannot differentiate them yet. Okay? It's okay. Relax. Relax, relax, relax. The crucial thing that we found from this recording is that, and you could look up here too if you want, is that your abdomen, which is a much bigger muscle, is producing more electricity than your pelvic floor, which makes sense. When we have you tense just your pelvic floor, you really can tense your pelvic floor, and you can keep it pretty darn tense until we tell you to relax. So you don't have a urinary incontinence issue.
No.
That
Sorry, I didn't want to let you know that. Find out.
So the point is, you don't have a problem that would show up electrophysiologically, in your muscle tension. So if we were doing this evaluation on somebody with urinary incontinence, and we saw that, what you just produced, we'd go, well, we probably can't help with our techniques. And we'd wonder whether the diagnosis of that type of incontinence was correct. We'd work back and forth with the physician. So you showed exactly what we were interested in. Would you mind if I torture you for another second? I'm not going to have you do anything particularly embarrassing. When this comes around on the screen, what I'm going to want you to do is cough, okay? Just wait a second until it gets to the line here. Okay, go ahead and cough. Okay, see what happens to the lower abdomen? This is absolutely normal. Double cough, double response. See how big that is relative to this? Bigger muscle shoves everything right out. That was it. End of torture.
Thank you.
So
now, how would you go about training someone to differentiate, though, between the abdominal muscles and the vaginal muscles? Because, that's where the...
Oh, well, they watch it. They watch it on the screen. The training channels here, this is the channel I use for training for this machine, where you can see them both. I just say, don't tense that up. Don't let it tense. Wait a minute, you're starting to tense it. Let that relax. Come on, get that up. I coach them. That works fine. I've never had a patient where that didn't work, that was cognitively intact. Of course, my definition of cognitively intact is I can train them to do it. It's always worked. What I use are screens like this for contract and hold over time when you start it. You just have to set this. It's 5 seconds for the entire time going across. So what I do is I set this to 30 seconds or a minute, so that I say, okay, when it reaches here, tense up. Don't do it for real, okay? Then they tense up. But what you do is you set a little threshold. Remember we talked about threshold lines? See that? You tell them how much you want them to tense up by. If you're trying to get them to tense up one muscle and not another, you set the threshold for how little you want them to tense up. In other words, when do you consider that they're tensing too much? And you train them progressively to tense less and less and less. So this